What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another video, man. And today, you guys read the title correctly. Yes, we have a doomsday scenario. I wasn't sure if I was going to make this video, but you guys dropped the likes on Twitter and you guys wanted to see it through. So let's get it. Doomsday scenario for the Lakers. We see Kendrick Perkins talking about a potential defensive backcourt with Russ and Patrick Beverley. What if the Lakers actually go against what everybody believes and keeps Russell Westbrook? I want to talk about what the horrible repercussions would be, how the lineups would kind of look, and all of that. And then I also want to talk about what free agents are available and the latest rumors from Joan Bua from The Athletic. So let's start with those before we stop by the main topic, which is what if, right? What if? Let's start with the rumors. Rumor has it Patrick Beverley likely isn't the Lakers' final move, according to Joan Bua from The Athletic. The team is still actively pursuing Russell Westbrook deals and other avenues to improve the roster before training camp starts. So that is the latest rumor. I believe that. I don't think he's going to stay, man. Even though we're going to do the doomsday scenario. Again, doomsday means worst case scenario possible. But I still believe Russ is going to get dealt. Although there is a cause for concern, guys. And I think I'm going to watch this video with you guys for the second time. I saw it right before I came on live. What's up, everybody? Welcome. I saw it right before I came on live. The Lakers just dropped the new, mini promo for the August hours. All right, Lakers working out. Let's check it out together. So you see my man right there, Wenyan Gabriel. There lies the problem right there. Russell Westbrook is practiced. He's in there. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less. We're a month away from training camp, but excited to see Cole Swider there shooting threes. We see some of the G League guys. Very excited for this, man. This little promo right here. Always. Everything Lakers gives me hype. But again, the cause for concern here is Russell Westbrook still in the training facility, which means obviously, they're still working on potential deals maybe, but nothing is finalized as of right now. So that is very concerning. I'm doing good, Jason. Thank you for asking, brother. What do you guys think of that new little promo? Of course, hyped as hell, but Russ is still with the squad, man. And again, we're going to dive right into the doomsday scenario. If we keep this current lineup with Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverley, according to Kendrick Perkins, this is what he said, that he says Patrick Beverley and Russell Westbrook actually could be the most dangerous defensive backcourt. No. Okay, that's what this man is just the mainstream media just spewing nonsense, man. What do you? First of all, Russell Westbrook's never really been a defensive-minded guard. He was better when he was younger and more athletic and explosive, but he's not. He hasn't been that. He's always been an offensive weapon, right? But yeah, doomsday scenario, we keep him. That is not going to happen. Looking at the depth chart, I would expect to see either Patrick or Russ to start. Most likely Patrick, because listen, we talked about Darvin Ham expecting Russell Westbrook to focus on defense first. Well, we just traded for a defensive-minded first guard. So I wouldn't be shocked if he overtakes him, like, at all. And this is not just me jumping on the bandwagon. I'm being serious. Like, if Russ does not buy into his role early on, assuming worst-case scenario, we keep him, then I do believe, honestly, I believe that the depth chart will look eventually Patrick Beverley starting guard, shooting guard, either Austin Reeves or Kendrick Nunn. Small forward, LeBron James. Power forward, Anthony Davis. Center, Thomas Bryant. But how good can that lineup truly be, guys? Let's be honest. We're going to struggle because, first of all, we need more floor spacing. The acquisition of Patrick Beverley, he's a decent three-point shooter, 37% for his career from beyond the arc. But he's not really known as a knockdown three-point stretch point guard, which is, I think, what we need. We need some stretch guards out there. And Austin Reeves, I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, he shot at a 30% clip. So, that's interesting to me. 30% is not that great, but he started off hot and he slowed down, kind of hit the rookie wall towards the end of the season. But this depth chart is not very impressive. Russell Westbrook, Kendrick Nunn, Patrick Beverley, Austin Reeves at the guards, right? Juan Toscano, Lonnie Walker, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Thomas Bryant. I mean, that's decent, but it's not. You're not going to make a splash with that roster, right? With that type, any kind of rotation involving those players, because we need a lot more help than that. Now, of course, you know, I don't project that to be the depth chart, but if that is, we do need to go out and grab some free agents, right? These are the free agents still available. Stop me when I say somebody you guys like, all right? LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMarcus Cousins, Ed Davis, and his freedom. Nobody wants him. Montrezl Harrell, Dwight Howard, Myers Leonard. I doubt anybody gets him as well for the controversies. Greg Monroe, Oliver Sarr, Tristan Thompson, Hassan Whiteside, Cody Zeller, Carmelo, Trevor Ariza, Devontae Cacott, Gary Clark, Tyler Cook, Blake Griffin, James Johnson, Paul Millsap, Jawan Morgan, Markieff Morris, there's an interesting name, Jabari Parker, Justin Anderson, another interesting name. I like his athleticism, defensive prowess. DeAndre Benbury, would not mind him. Rodney Hood, I think he would be somebody you need 3 and D. That's a name to look at. Andre Iguodala still seems to be a free agent, although I think he might go back to the Warriors if he does come back to the league. Josh Jackson, we all like him. Justin Jackson, Anthony Lamb, Jake Layman, Alfonso McKinney. Let's see who else. Tony Snell. The Lakers were interested in him in the past. So there's just a couple of names. Yes, Markieff Morris would not be bad, T. I agree. Ed Davis, I think I'm good on Ed Davis. I think Damian Jones brings similar attributes to Ed Davis. Oh, and of course, how can I forget Dennis Schroeder? He said, give me Hood. Rodney Hood would be dope. I like him since he's with the Jazz for sure. Alfonso McKinney, he didn't even pop up on the list I just looked at, but I mean, he was good for us the first time around. He said, I actually am all in on the Pacer trade now. Even if Hill's defense is suspect, he has Davis and Turner to erase so many of those mistakes. Not to mention, we just acquired Patrick Beverley, a defensive first-minded guard. So I agree. I'm right there with you. But we're talking doomsday scenario, man. If for some reason, they want too much or the Lakers can't come to an agreement with the Pacers and then the Jazz move, with a different trade elsewhere. Although I think the Jazz and the Pacers are hand in hand on teams that could pull up and give us some pieces here for maybe a first-round pick or so. But, yeah, he said Cole Swider, full contract. He has a chance, man. Let's see how he does in training camp. But, again, for those of you just tuning in, man, we just saw the little video promo for the Lakers' 75th season, and it's exciting, man. I'll play it one more time, and this time I'll be quiet and let you guys just enjoy the views here. Okay, this is the ending of it. Thomas. I'm excited for TV. And Kendrick Nunn. Cole Swider with the 3. Some G League guys. You guys think anybody from the G League pulls up to grab a spot? Austin Reeves looking happy. He must have worked on his game. He looking that happy. Scottie Pippen Jr., Damian Jones, Wenyen Gabriel. I mean, it's always good to see these guys back in the lab. All it means is we're that much closer to the regular season. But yes, guys, look, at the end of the day, man, appreciate you, bro. J Huff, you guys think J Huff makes the roster? Dan, Russ, and Pat had beef for a while. Yeah, it's not going to happen. But again, this for the sake of this video, the doomsday scenario. Listen, we keep Patrick Beverley and Russell Westbrook. That's going to be one toxic-ass locker room. I'd be surprised if we win 40 games, no matter who's on the team, if we keep both of them. That's just how I feel. I need a Russ trade. I know. Listen, I know we all need the Russ trade. I think it's still in the works. According to Jovan, it's still in the works. Here's the interesting thing, though. Jovan reported when the trade went down for Patrick Beverley that with THT off the Lakers' books next summer, they could have as little as $88.9 million in salary for the 2023-2024 offseason, and the projected salary cap is $133 million. So do the math, man. We're going to have more than enough for another max contract if that happens. So there's some other things that, came into the light here with this trade. Also, Jovan reporting that the Lakers did not want to trade Stanley Johnson, but they didn't want that to be the deal breaker. So they ended up dealing him. I guess the Jazz wanted him, as a cash filler. So let's see. She said, I think the Lakers are trolling. That's hilarious. If they are, they sure as heck fooled me because I'm ready to see this trade happen. But listen, we got about a little over a month before training camp starts. So they have plenty of time, and it could happen on any given day, right? We could just be sitting there enjoying some football, and boom, breaking news: the Lakers make a trade, right? So let's hope that it happens for sure. My boy Mamba Mentality says starting Patrick Beverly, Reeves, AD, Turner, and LeBron, of course. And he said bench Nunn, Lonnie, Hield, Wenyen, and TB. Extras, Swider, Scotty Jr., Jones, Huff. We will be ready. That is the team to have for sure. And I agree with your starting lineups. I agree with it. Absolutely. That bench is going to be sick. We got Thomas Bryant, Buddy Hield, Lonnie Walker coming off the bench. Now you're talking about some serious, My boy say hoodie is nice. Oh, no, it's not a hoodie, bro. It's a t-shirt. But thank you, man. Thank you so much. I wish it was a hoodie. I love hoodies, but I got my fair share of hoodies, man. I got so many hoodies that I can't even wear during the summertime that my closet, the pole that holds up the coat hangers, is kind of starting to break it off. So as soon as it breaks off, I'm gonna glue it back on. He said, "How did we trade with Utah? Beverly was on the Wolves, not the Jazz." No, he was on the Jazz. All right, he was included in that package deal with Rudy Gobert. Right, Rudy Gobert over to the Timberwolves, and they had to offload his contract over to the Jazz. So yeah, that's how it happened, man. Buddy Hield needs to start. That's debatable. That is definitely debatable. First of all, the thing about that is if Buddy Hield starts, well, he's a high volume shooter, which means he shoots a higher clip. I looked at the numbers. He shoots a higher clip. The more shots he gets, the better he gets as the game progresses. Matter of fact, when we lost to them in overtime last season, he got a ton of shots off. He might not get those same amount of shots with LeBron and AD because they need to get their fair share as well. He might have to just become a spot-up shooter. Off the bench, I think he can become a primary ball handler. He can, get a better feel for the game. He could be that combo guard he wants to be, in my opinion. But I wouldn't mind seeing him space the floor for LeBron and AD. I definitely could see him closing out games of we need that offensive firepower, and Austin Reeves isn't hitting. So it'll be interesting to see how Darvin Ham utilizes that. But hey, appreciate you, Smoke. He said, "I'm happy for you. I remember watching about a month ago, and I love seeing your channel grow. It's all because of you guys, man. Thanks for the support, bro." Dan, the Hornets deal. I'm not a huge fan of the Hornets deal. That would be like last minute type of thing right there, like the last resort type of move. I just feel like you're getting contracts that last several years. You want to have cap flexibility, and on top of that, you're getting guys that you don't know if they're going to be healthy, man. You just don't know, and especially with who, Gordon Hayward. He's been just injury prone, My boy said maybe the Spurs for Jay Rich and McBuckets. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, that's not really like a needle moving type of deal, but it definitely helps you with some solid role players. I still prefer, the Indiana Pacers deal or the Bogdanovic trade to the Jazz, because Bogdanovic is underrated, man. He's somebody who can go out for 30 points any given night. Great floor spacer. I think he's been underrated throughout his years in the league because he plays for Utah. I mean, who really watches Utah, even when they're good, outside of Utah, right? They're not the most exciting team to watch, except for Donovan Mitchell, of course. But Bogdanovic has been under the radar for years, and I think he would be exceptional with the Lakers. I mean, that type of floor spacing, he is exactly what we need. 3 and D, and exactly what the doctor's ordered right there. He said we need LeVar. You talking about LeVar Ball? No, we don't need LeVar, man. I love LeVar. Great parent, great character, man, great guy. But yeah, he's not an NBA coach material, man. Darvin Ham is going to have us right this season. And I'm excited again. I want to talk to you guys about that depth chart. So far, the way the team is, you got Russell Westbrook, you got Kendrick Nunn, you got Austin Reeves, Lonnie Walker. Those are our guards right now. And obviously Patrick Beverly. And then, small forwards, we're thin right now at the small forward position. We got LeBron James, Juan Toscano, and if you want to call Troy Brown Jr. a small forward, so be it. Power forwards, you got Anthony Davis, you got Wenyen Gabriel, and centers, we have Thomas Bryant, Damian Jones, and potentially Jay Huff. If I missed anybody, let me know in the chat. But yeah, like that, we're thin at the wing, right? Clearly, we just got LeBron and Juan Toscano. Like Juan Toscano, can he hold that position down by himself? Highly doubt it. We need another wing for insurance purposes, and one that gets heavy minutes. That's what I wanted from Stanley Johnson. And again, there's a bit of a sigh of relief to know that the Lakers didn't want to give up Stanley, but we ended up giving him up anyway. So I think they had big plans for Stanley Johnson. It's unfortunate that he's going to have to rot away in Utah now. But hey, on the positive note, him and THT, especially if Donovan Mitchell gets traded, are going to get tons of opportunities. So happy for them, but it's a bittersweet. Bittersweet. He said, after this, I'm not optimistic that the Pacers deal gets done at all. You think so, Tay? Why is that, bro? Why are you pessimistic about that? Give me a reason. I would like to know. Did I listen to DJ Khaled's new album? Nah, man, not at all. I'm not a big DJ Khaled fan outside of his beats. So I don't know if he's rapping on there. I'm not trying to hear DJ Khaled throughout the course of a track, man. Not a fan of that. But if it's just bangers and beats, then maybe I'll check it out. Is it good? Let me know, Jason. He said Lonnie ain't a wing. He's more of a combo guard, man. 1 or 2. He could play the 1 or the 2. If you go small ball, I guess you could play him at the wing, but nah, I would not. I would not. Chances of a Pacer deal right now, I'd say it's probably a 60% chance it goes down. We got the draft picks they want. They got the players we want. It's all a matter of just pick protections and stuff like that, holding stuff up, I'm sure. But yeah, so Utah wants Stanley because what happened last year? Yeah, he cooked them for sure. That is true. That's a good point. Stanley Johnson playing small ball was crazy. He cooked Rudy Gobert, but who doesn't cook Rudy Gobert? I think Rudy Gobert is a solid defender, but at times, he can overplay and get dunked on at times. And I think he might be a little bit overrated, and that's why I think the trade, everything that the Timberwolves gave up was too much for Rudy Gobert. He said DJ Khaled's only lines are "We the best." I know. I'm not hating. I mean, he's a great beat maker. Don't get me wrong, but he said a DJ Khaled album like he was the one rapping on the thing, man. I'm not sure I'm down for that, but I'm pretty sure it's his beats and stuff. He said, Dan, I think y'all forgot we got Troy Brown Jr. I like him, man. I really do. I like his versatility, his wing depth, athleticism, all of that. But he's not a proven player, so we can't really count on him. I am excited to see if he can maybe carve out a niche on this team, similar to what Malik Monk did last season, right? Sometimes a player will come and shine, and sometimes he won't. But but that dude right there, man, he's a big question mark. The last thing I want though is for him to come in like I already forgot his name. That's how bad it was. But like the wing we had last season, man. That wing that didn't get a lot of minutes. He started like the first couple of games, he didn't get a lot of minutes. I already forgot his name. That's how irrelevant he was. The Tyreek Evans, Oh, I forget Tyreek Evans is out there. But see, I like Tyreek a lot. He's been away from the league for a while. I think his suspension just got lifted, right? I think he was suspended, right? Or was he overseas? But bottom line is, yeah, I mean, he's more of an offensive wing to me. Can he play defense? He has a potential. But remember, when he started, he was a point guard with the Sacramento Kings. He was Rookie of the Year. A lot of people don't know that about him. That dude was serious, man. He was legit. Dan, we need to see a New York, Utah, Lakers, Indiana 14 trade, though. It's a bit too much. He said the Lakers can maybe get away with 3 to 4 players for the right price, as long as every team gets their need. There's some players out there that are going to be for sale, right? They're sellers on the market, and we're talking about the Jazz, right? The Jazz are sellers. They're not trying to compete. They're not trying to contend. So some of these players, for sure, they're going to be available. And I want the Lakers to be buyers, right? I want the Lakers to make sure that we go out there and we get these players that aren't going to be utilized this season. We're talking the Bogdanoviches, the Jordan Clarksons of the world, whatever combination of that with Buddy Hield, and Miles Turner. If we can get the best combination, I'm all for it. Whether that's some people have said Bogdanovich and Buddy Hield, or Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Some even believe we have enough assets to acquire all 3 of them, right? Which would be Bogdanovich, Buddy Hield, and Miles Turner. We get those 3. Then I think we would be serious title contenders. Like, because with just 2 of those, I still think we are contenders for sure. But I'm talking serious. You get the 3-and-D wing and Bogdanovich, you get the streaky shooter and Buddy Hield, and you get the big man that's going to dominate alongside Anthony Davis in the paint defensively, right? Damian Jones starting over TB. He has better shooting percentage. No, Thomas Bryant. The thing about Thomas Bryant is he has an engine, man. He has a motor on both ends of the floor. So he can be effective without even having the ball in his hands, right? It's not about percentages. It's about what player can be more impactful. Now, of course, that position might be up for grabs up until training camp or preseason starts. But I would be shocked if Thomas Bryant isn't starting, especially if we don't have Miles Turner on the team, right? Now, if we have Miles Turner, everything changes. I expect him to start alongside Anthony Davis, but it's up to Darvin Ham. I don't know how he's going to decide to go with it. I'm going to give Darvin Ham a chance, right? And remember, the only two returning players from the 2020 team this season, we have literally gutted the whole roster since 2 seasons ago. We got rid of THC. He was the last piece that was on that championship team, the last of the Mohicans. And so, we gutted the roster. We only have AD and LeBron from that team. So we're talking about a brand new team that has to get used to each other with a new coaching staff. So we got to give them time for sure. He said, I wish we can trade Russ for Tobias Harris. That would be, he's a Tobias Harris is an underrated player, but his contract is insane, bro. I'm not sure I want that contract because what happens if he gets hurt? He'd be sitting over there looking like Lil Dang. I still want Kyrie. Me too, Adriana. But look, listen, that's a topic for maybe next offseason. As of right now, unless something crazy happens midway through the season, they say, okay, we're done. You can have Kyrie. Or as somebody mentioned, which I doubt, they buy him out. I don't see that happening. But imagine if Kyrie gets bought out and he joins the Lakers as an unrestricted free agent. And next season, we have his bird right. Well, I'm not sure how the collective bargaining agreement works, but do we have his bird rights? Do we sign him like halfway through the season for the end of the season? I'm not sure. But that would be great if we can then, get like a small sample size and have some success, falls in love with LA and re-signs with us the next offseason. That would be ideal. No matter who we have on this team, if you can acquire Kyrie for the minimum, you do it. He said, Danny Ainge would want 10 picks from the Lakers for Mitchell. Yeah, that Donovan Mitchell rumor, that's not going to happen, guys. I told you guys since I first heard it here on the live stream, somebody said it, and I looked it up and confirmed. That's just not going to happen. First of all, you got to see what source is reporting that. It's not really a super credible source, right? So that's number one. Number two, you see what they want. If they trade Donovan Mitchell, he's probably going to end up on the Knicks or the Heat. Those two teams have assets. The Knicks have a bunch of picks, and the Miami Heat, they have young players like Tyler Hero and others that they can include with some picks. So we don't have either, man. We got 2 first-round picks, and that's max. He said, Kyrie dream is over, in my opinion. He made up with the Brooklyn a while ago before KD. I would be shocked if they re-sign him after everything, right? I would be shocked. They would have to have some major success there this season. I'm talking finals appearance at the very least, in my opinion, to want to re-sign him. But if they have a repeat of last year, that is not going to happen. They might lose both KD via trade and Kyrie via free agency next year if they have a repeat of last year. He said, yo, you know what, Dan? I just realized the Lakers are always going to be good no matter what. He's a nationwide purple and gold. Oh, yeah, that's for sure, Raul. Listen, the Lakers are always at the forefront of every sports page, every headline, everything. Even when we were winning 16 games, we're still headlining ESPN, SportsCenter, all that, Fox News, right? So, but we want to be good this season. We want to be great this season because we cannot waste any more of LeBron and Anthony Davis's prime. The window right now to compete is very small. We don't know when LeBron is going to start declining. And I don't think he's so intelligent and so skilled that I think even if he declines, he's going to find other ways to impact the game, whether that be becoming a pass first type of player or focusing more on the mid range, from the post like Kobe did as his career started winding down. So I don't doubt LeBron, but still, you just never know. So you have to maximize these windows of these prime elite players like AD and LeBron. Anytime you're in an elite franchise like the Lakers, this is why they got rid of so much young talent, because they're trying to maximize that championship window, and that's what elite franchises do. You don't want to be you don't want to be playing with your assets and end up in the middle of nowhere. You don't have draft picks, and then at the same time you're not competing. You don't want that. Hey, shout out to the Philippines, man. Shout out to the Philippines. Any more questions, guys? So yeah, again, I don't want this to happen. I doubt it'll happen. Doomsday scenario. Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley. Gross. We don't want those two in the backcourt together. That's disgusting. No. Their games do not complement LeBron's and AD's individually, let alone together. Now, individually, you might get away with Patrick Beverley starting. Russ struggled really bad. All right. Anytime they were out there, they never really had a big game, all three of them at the same time last season. So that tells you they don't mesh well. Now you throw Patrick Beverley out there with Russ? No. The floor spacing would not be nice. That's all I'm going to say about that. And then, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. I don't know what Kendrick Perkins, I think they pay him to say controversially crazy things. And I could have literally made a whole video to destroy him, but I think, listen, Twitter got it already, man. We don't need another video to destroy this guy, but sometimes he pisses me off. Lakers need to re-sign Avery Bradley. He provides defense and shooting. I do like the prospect of re-signing Avery Bradley. However, I see him as a guard unless you're playing small ball. And I want more size, guys. I prefer Josh Jackson if that's the case, right? I prefer other players like that. Somebody said Rodney Hood. I'll take his, what is he, 6'7", 6'8"? I'll take his size for the defensive end rather than Avery Bradley, even though Avery Bradley could hold his own. But we don't want to get exploited with the lack of size, especially when in the playoffs, when the game slows down and we play more of a half-court offense and defense, you're going to need all the size you can get. Every team that has success has it. Look at last year. Last year, the Warriors won the championship. They had plenty of size. Yeah, they go small at times. They can get away with that because they got Curry, they got Clay, they got floor spacers, right? You can get away with Dre at the 5, sometimes at the 4, at times. But listen, their wing depth was crazy good, right? They had guys like Kuminga, obviously Wiggins, who was huge, Andre Iguodala off the bench if they need his veteran leadership. They had wing depth, okay? And not only that, Klay Thompson could run some 3 as well. But Festus Ezeli was huge, I think. And I believe they lost him. I'm not sure. Fact check me on that. I believe they lost him this offseason. If they did, that's going to be a huge loss. Yes, I know they're getting that lottery pick, James Wiseman back. I know they're getting James Wiseman back, but he's been injured, early in his career. They should have had some insurance for him, right? Some backup insurance. Oh, they still have Kevin Looney. So who did they lose? They lost Gary Payton Jr. and they lost somebody else. So they still have Kevin Looney. Okay, that's good because I was going to say he was huge for them in the finals. He was huge for them. Dan, would you take Trez? I would, and that's because I trust Darvin Ham. If I didn't have a coach like Darvin Ham and we still have Frank Vogel, God forbid we still had him because I would have been going crazy on his front office. But had we had Frank Vogel, I would have said no. But because I've seen the history and the track record of Darvin Ham and players like Al Horford vouching for him, saying, they took their game to the next level, working with him in the offseason and stuff like that. For those reasons, yeah. Oh, they lost Otto Porter. Okay. I knew they lost 2 key pieces, but I forgot which ones. I'm not a Warriors fan, so excuse me for that. But yeah, Kevon Looney was an X factor for them. He said all the reporters seem like Russ is gone, probably waiting on the trade. Yeah, you know what, Philip? I've always felt like Russ was going to be gone. I said, this is one of the priorities in the offseason. We started with firing our head coach and hiring a new one. We knew we had to make some trades and revamp the roster, get younger. We did that, double check. But now, the final thing in the checklist that I've been wanting this offseason is to offload Russell Westbrook. And I think it will happen. But this video is a hypothetically speaking doomsday scenario type thing. If we had to keep him, honestly, if we keep Russell Westbrook, I doubt the Lakers play him halfway through the year, especially if he's struggling. He doesn't buy in. He brings that horrible attitude. I truly, firmly believe Darvin is a no-nonsense guy, and he would either bench him or send him home or something, something. Even though I don't think that's a likely scenario, you can't have $47 million just sitting at home, but that's better than having him, weigh you down during the season. He said trading Westbrook is the main event. It has to be. It's a must. It's a priority for this Laker team. He said JaMychal Green is a great get for the Golden State Warriors, understanding signing, but it was good. Their front office is elite. That is true, man. And the Vincenzo signing was good as well. I like JaMychal Green since he was with the Denver Nuggets for sure. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens because the West ain't getting easier. And if we trade for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, we're coming. We're marching down that West, and we might face the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals, or maybe even sooner. So that might be the matchup to look forward. But we still got a ways to go, obviously, to execute this trade and actually put ourselves on the map. We got to do it. He said, if he's gone, why would Patrick Beverley and LeBron back him so much? Well, if you notice, he hasn't really replied, at least not that I know of. He hasn't replied to that backing up. And also, LeBron did this with other teammates before they got traded. Kyle Kuzma, THT, KCP, calling them greats and all this, and then boom, they get traded shortly after. So you don't want to read too much into it. Maybe LeBron already knows he's going to get dealt, and since he's good friends with Russ, he wants to cultivate that relationship. Maybe Patrick Beverley's out of the loop, so he sees LeBron do it, and he wants to join his team captain in doing it. But I wouldn't read too much into that. I still believe we'd have to be really crazy to go into this season with Russell Westbrook after last season, and we added his mortal enemy to the roster in Patrick Beverley. Like, that is not a recipe for success. All right, you're talking about our enemies wanting to see us like implode right in front of their eyes. This is exactly what the Lakers would be giving them. We would implode, we would break down, we would combust, whatever fancy words you want to use. The Lake is not good. You don't want to have Russell Westbrook back, period, let alone now that we got his public enemy number one. There's been tons of gifs and memes, on Twitter making me laugh about how they're going to be in practice and stuff. But I don't think that happens. If that happens, you can kiss this year goodbye, man. More than likely. All right. Now, I'll still try to be optimistic and hope for the best. But, man, you don't want to go into the season giving 2 headaches like that to Darvin Ham. That's not fair to him. You would be setting him up for failure already. He said, what if we let Westbrook run the bench unit? I mean, if he buys into it, that would be great. But he still needs to be a team player because we're going to have plenty of options there off the bench. We're going to have Kendrick Nunn, who's potentially a better shooter than him, right? Career-wise, he is, at least. We're going to have, obviously, Lonnie Walker. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. The way the roster is constructed, even if he comes off the bench, you have other players there that are primary ball handlers. Unless you're thinking of trading Kendrick Nunn and others, to make him the primary ball handler. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't make sense to me the way we're constructed. When we acquired Patrick Beverley, I told you guys, basically this is the kiss of death to Russell Westbrook. He's out of here. He's gone. It's only a matter of time. Maybe they haven't found the trade yet, but they got a whole month to figure it out. And I expect it to happen sooner rather than later. What's up, Denver Nuggets, baby? What's up, bro? He said, happy Friday. DTLF, I think you guys gave up a little too much for Patrick Beverley. Getting Patrick Beverley only means one thing. You guys are moving on from Russ. I wish your team well, my friend. Thank you so much, man. Touche, brother, touche. I wish you guys the best as well, except when you face us. But other than that, man, it should be an exciting season, bro. As far as giving up too much, I agree. I was not happy with the trade when it happened, but I said this, I think this is a 2-part trade. Part 1 just happened. The sequel's coming up, and I think we'll be a lot happier after the way our roster looks after that one, right? But wish you the best as well, bro. Otto Porter Jr., I wish, but yeah, he's gone, right? He went to who did he sign with? I forgot. He signed with elsewhere. He said Westbrook is not coming off the bench. I agree. This is why I don't want him on the team. That is why I do not want him on the team. Facts. The Jazz are gonna build around THT, and that's not nothing to laugh at. I mean, the dude is 21 or 22, not sure, but he's extremely young. He shows promise. Don't be shocked if he has a breakout year with the Jazz. Matter of fact, when fantasy basketball comes around, that's definitely a name to look forward. Especially if he's cheap in price to pick up, and he might give you some great fantasy points. I think he'll be solid in the rebounding department, scoring if he has a ball in his hands. But a lot of that is contingent of if they get rid of Donovan Mitchell or not. They will. Most likely they will. The Hawks are going to be interesting this year. Yo, y'all know how I feel about Trae Young. I'm a big Trae Young fan. I bought his jersey after he went to the Eastern Conference Finals in his 3rd year in the league. So sky's the limit for that team. They just added DeJounte Murray. He's a dog as well. That's definitely a team to watch out for in the East. But they got to prove it, man. They look good on paper. Let's see how they look on the court. He said, damn, did you see the Lakers posting Westbrook, Dan? I did. Matter of fact, I shared that video earlier with you guys here on the chat. So if you guys haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out on Twitter, or when this video is done posting, check it out there as well. The THT is going to get the ball in his hands more, especially if the Jazz trade Mitchell. I look forward to watching his player development. Look, we always knew that the young core was special and they were going to develop. You look what these guys have done. Brandon Ingram has made the All-Star team already. So has Julius Randle. So has D'Angelo Russell. Jordan Clarkson's become a coveted 6-man player around the league. Thomas Bryant, workhorse. I'm glad we got him back. So it's been fun to watch these younger players go out and carve their niche around the league. A player I would love to bring back someday that I think fits any sort of roster, especially a championship contender because he plays really hard, would be Larry Nance Jr. I'd love to have him back. I know there's no room for him right now currently, but man, that's a player that if he ever got bought out or was a free agent, I say Lakers go and get him. All right, he's worth the price tag, I'm sure. I think he's currently with the Pelicans, right? I think so. Is it trade Westbrook for D'Angelo Russell, please, straight up? Ah, man, I love D'Lo, but remember, Darvin Ham wants defensive-minded guards, and for that price tag, that the money he makes, I don't think he'll fit what this team is looking for. Although the floor spacing and the playmaking would be phenomenal, but defensively, he's never been a great defender. That's always been a knock on him. But I wouldn't mind it. I still think that getting Miles Turner as a primary or Bogdanovic would be better for fit purposes, right? We're looking for fit here. We're not looking for the best available talent. You said THC equals Kobe 2.0. If you know, you know. Well, I would never say that, Jason. Kobe was 101. All right, he's truly super rare, and I hate to make that comparison with anybody, especially when they haven't won anything or accomplished anything in their career. So, but I do like his skill set. He's still extremely young. Needs to work on some things, especially his face-up game and his consistent jump shooting. But he's going to have plenty of time there in Utah. Dan, what do you think about Cam Reddish? Cam Reddish would be great. And I was talking to somebody on Twitter about it. Shout out to them. I forgot their at. But pretty much they said Cam Reddish would be a good replacement for Stanley Johnson. I agree. But so would Josh Jackson and Rodney Hood and a couple of other players. We're going to have options there. But I do like Cam Reddish. Depends on the asking price. I'll give up a second-round pick for Cam Reddish. Sure. Why not? They don't really covet him that much in New York. He said, no, I meant someone else said THC equals Kobe 2.0. Oh, okay. I thought you said it, Jason. I was about to say. Yeah. He said Kobe and Bron were already superstars coming out of high school. Yeah, there's no comparison, man. These players, they don't grow on trees. The thing about Kobe, LeBron, Michael Jordan, players like that, they come around every 20 years or so, right? A lot of people believe Luka is him. He's that player that comes around every 20 years. He still has to prove it, but he got off to a good start. We'll see. Giannis, one of those players as well. So yeah, those kind of players do not grow on trees. THC is great. I still think he could become an all-star someday. I really do. People make fun of him because he wasn't impactful here, but the way he was utilized as a small forward, I don't think that's his position. I'd rather play him at either the 1 or the 2, preferably the 1, because he's much better with the ball in his hands. Even his decision-making gets better with the ball in his hands. There was a couple of games when he was dropping 10 dimes, 30 points, 10 dimes. So he's a capable, gifted scorer, athletic as well. He just needs to work on his basketball IQ, got to get better, his face-up game, and playing without the ball so he can be effective at all times. He said Luka is him. I think so too, man. But again, I hate to put him in any greatness category till he starts winning championships and MVPs, and then I will definitely put him up there. But it's a beautiful thing, man. The league is in great hands. There's so many great players right now that are coming up in the league that I think are just scratching the surface. LaMelo Ball is one of them. Who else? Ja Morant is another one. No hate, regardless of his personality or not. And then. Yeah, a lot of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Hate that they're Celtics, but you got to respect the talent. So a lot of this league is in great hands. There's a lot of young talent, man. Obviously, we already talked about Trey, and so on and so forth. I mean, so many. Is that a team to watch out for? Is the Pelicans? Hey, listen, the Pelicans were fun to watch last season. If you had League Pass, or even if you didn't have League Pass, if you were streaming the games, my goodness, man, the Pelicans really are just starting to, they're still babies, but Brandon Ingram's starting to come into his own. If Zion could stay healthy, dude, people don't know this, but he was averaging 24 points a game and his limited PT, right? Before he got hurt. And he had restriction on minutes. I remember he would get mad because they were benching him. So a big Zion fan, big Brandon Ingram fan. I like that whole team from A to Z. They're up and coming. They got CJ McCollum, which I think was a very intelligent move by the Pelicans. This is why they made the playoffs. And again, a bunch of good role players. Troy Murphy III, Grand Theft Alvarado. I mean, that team, if Zion can stay healthy, they're going to be a force. in like a year or two in the West. Okay, so this is why I say the window for the Lakers is now, because there's young teams in the West like the Memphis Grizzlies are starting to get better, starting to get playoff experience. They're going to be really dangerous in 2 to 3 years. Heck, the Grizzlies might even be really dangerous next year, right? People were like, the Grizzlies might make the finals. I was like, there's no way. They haven't paid their dues in the playoffs yet. Well, they just did last year, right? They put up a couple of interesting, entertaining playoff series. And even though they didn't win, they won the first round, I think, versus the Timberwolves, but they didn't win in the second round. That's the experience right there. Same thing for the Pelicans, right? But I believe they took, if I'm not mistaken, they took the Suns to 7 games. That's huge, right? Some of us they had us believing they could beat them. So I was excited for that, man. But the league is in great hands. I'm excited. So how about a trade Russ back to Houston for Kevin Porter Jr., Gordon, and Garrison Matthew? I wouldn't mind it, bro, but those are all unproven players except for Eric Gordon, right? Kevin Porter Jr. is kind of a wild card. He can drop 30 on any given night, or he can drop 10 turnovers. I'm not sure he fits with the Lakers. He needs the ball in his hands as well. And I really don't think that Houston wants Russ back, right? Especially when they're trying to develop some young talent over there. So yeah, it just doesn't make sense from both standpoints. He said LeBron is trying to save face for asking for Westbrook. Enough is enough. Get rid of Westbrook. I agree to a certain degree, right? But I just think he's trying to be a good friend. Let's not forget that they were friends, and hopefully it stays like that for them because it's never that serious. But for Laker fans, yeah, we don't care. We don't care if you're friends or not. We just want to win. Jerome, what's up, bro? He said, sub DTLF, as a Chicago Bulls fan, I want to say I like your channel. You Laker fans are cool, down-to-earth people. I miss the Black Mamba, even though Jordan is my GOAT. Kobe and LeBron are GOATs too. That's what's up, Jerome. I appreciate you, man. And good luck to your team this year, man. You also have a very fun team in the Chicago Bulls, man. Obviously, you guys re-signed Zach LaVine, so congrats on that. And I can't wait to see the NBA start. The Bulls are one of the fun teams to watch in this league. I'm a big Lonzo Ball fan. Always rooting for him. Zach LaVine as well, UCLA product. So you got a couple of boys. And let's not forget the Compton boy, hometown, our very own DeMar DeRozan. So big fan of the talent you guys have there. Let's just hope it comes together. And let's not obviously Alex Caruso. I don't even have to bring him up because Laker Nation always brings him up. But yeah, man, keep it up. Appreciate the love, bro. And who knows, maybe you guys make some real noise this year in the East, right? 1 year under your belt of experience with a new team, you're definitely threats. Dan, if Westbrook stays, how far can we make it? Thanks for the super chat, Alex. You know what? Honestly, if Westbrook stays and we don't make no more roster improvements, this is it. This is the team. I don't have us winning more than 42 to 44 games, and that's not good in the West. That's barely enough to probably get you in the play-in. And again, it's not just Westbrook, but the lack of wing depth and shooting that would be on this roster, I think, would really hamper us. So as we are constructed right now, realistically speaking, 42 to 44 games. Unless LeBron and AD go on a rampage, then that could get us up to 50. But it would take a lot from them, and that's what we don't want in the regular season because you want to keep them healthy, right? But great question, man, and thanks so much for the super chat, bro. Much appreciated. He said no playoffs. Maybe the play-in. Anytime you got LeBron and AD, there's a chance, but not very far in the West. The West is stacked. You got so many teams in the West that somebody's going to get snubbed. It always happens every year. Every year. He said, if this is really it, Rob's got to go. Yeah, if we miss the playoffs again, for sure, Rob's going to get fired. I could all but guarantee you that. And I like Rob. I'm rooting for him. But, yeah, man, it's not acceptable. Back-to-back, nah, especially after LeBron's demands. Right? He signed with us with the obviously with the condition that we continue to compete. Russ needs to do what McAdoo did with the Lakers, realize his days as a star are over, and get a couple of rings with a contender as a role player. I thought he was going to do that last year, bro, to be honest with you, but his ego is super inflated, unfortunately. T says, the Lakers are trolling us, bro. It sure as heck feels that way. But listen, the Lakers always try to keep everything close to the chest. They don't really they don't show their hand very often. So I'm not even surprised at all that it's happening this way. I still expect Russ to get traded. He said, DTLF, don't you think that DeMar DeRozan would have thrived with your Lakers? I like the kid. I think he's from Compton, right? Yes, he is. Yes, he's definitely a Compton native, like yours truly. He said, I know he's a diehard Laker fan. He wanted to play for you. It hurt us, man. It hurt us when we found out he wanted to be a Laker, and we could have hypothetically we could have kept Caruso if that happened, and all this and that, all these scenarios, right? Or something like that. But look, it's not meant to be. I'm a firm believer of if it's meant to be, it'll happen. I spent all these years slandering Patrick Beverley, and deep down inside, I always felt like, oh my goodness, if he is ever a Laker, I'm gonna have to eat my words, and I did. Now, if he plays good, I'm gonna have to eat my words. So let's see what happens there. But everything happens for a reason, man. Nothing is an accident. I believe in the universe. I believe in good karma. And DeMar DeRozan, if he wanted to be here and it was meant to be, eventually he will be. Maybe a year too late or a year too early. I don't know. But at the end of the day, hey, I wish him luck. I'm still expecting more trades, but yeah. So is Jovan Bua from The Athletic, and he's been pretty on point all offseason long. If anything, he might have been more accurate than some mainstream reporters like Woj and Shams. So I give him props, man. He's been on. I think he has the sources when it comes to the Lakers basketball. I've been pretty much going off of what he says, to talk in my videos because he's been factual thus far. So I believe that the Lakers are still active, like he said, and hopefully we get something done sooner rather than later. But for sure, y'all, that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, wasn't planning on making this video. This is just winging it because we can't get enough of this Russell Westbrook doomsday scenario type talk, especially with Kendrick Perkins and all these personalities bringing it to the light. So I had to pretty much give you guys my take and hear your guys' take as well. Appreciate you guys, man. Shout out to my sponsor real quick before I go. Shout out to Prize Picks, man. They've been here all year round for your boy and for you guys as well. If you guys do want to try the promo code, it is DTLF. So very easy to remember. And remember, all these sports and all these teams are starting to play. And if you guys have any sort of sport knowledge, you can win some moolah from Prize Picks. So definitely check them out. Appreciate y'all, man. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe if you already have it. I'll keep my ear low to the ground. If anything breaks, you know where to find me, Laker Nation. I'll see you guys real soon. Have a great evening. Peace out.